Alright, today I'm going to be painting some orcs from Heroquest, the board game. Hey folks, I hope you're having a good day. I know I am because you're watching my video. Alright, we're starting off with a primer. These guys were badly primed. Anyways, I don't want to get into it. It was horrible. And so I used this Green Stuff World brush on primer in the end. It's a little globby. Anyway, it still does a good job. We're using contrast paints, of course, and we're going to be testing out fun colors on these orcs. We're starting off with some Militarum green, and this is going to be for the two male orcs. So as you can see now, I switched over to the second orc, just so you can get a glimpse of what skin to paint. Now, some people just globbed the contrast paint all over the miniature and then painted over that spots, and you could do that if you don't want to work too hard. And for the female versions of the orcs, we're going to use some Plaguebearer flesh. Now later on you're going to see how I compare actually other contrast paints that I was going to use. I tested them out on the other 4 miniatures. There's actually 8 in this board game, and there's 2 of each sculpt. So I ended up trying 4 different contrast colors to see which skin I would like the most for these orcs. And in the end, the Militarum green and the Plaguebearer flesh I found gave more of that just like lightly green orc color, and I didn't want it like super dark color. I want it to be a little bit more vibrant on the table. Now, just to get back to quickly the the priming of this miniature, it was supposed to be a zenithal highlight. The black was fine, but somehow, I don't know, I decided to do this when it was pretty cold outside. It didn't do a good job. Missed half of it, and yeah. Anyways, Talisar Blue is our next contrast paint. Just going to be doing this on the loincloths of 1 male orc and 1 female orc. Why? Just because I want to have like couples, I guess, or just because I wanted to do a little something different on the other 2 as well. And this is going to be the next color, which is going to be Griffhound Orange. So the other 2 orcs are going to get this on their loincloths. So this is, this is why contrast paints work great though in these situations. You just glob them onto certain areas that have, especially when there's a lot of raised areas, because then it gets into the nooks and crannies, it gives you a highlight, does everything you need. It's pretty cool. We're doing some Gore Grunt of fur. This is going to be for all the straps, all the handles, so like the leather bondings or leather straps on all the orcs. So I'm not going to show you all 4 where they all are on there. Some of them are a little bit more difficult to see. These miniatures were not so bad detail-wise. They're pretty good. Nazdrag Yellow now. We're going to be using this on the hair. And on my test miniatures, I actually used Ayenden Yellow. So I kind of messed this up. But I ended up using Nazdrag Yellow on the hair. 3 of the miniatures have hair. This one's got a mohawk. Pretty awesome. Lead Belcher now. We're going to be using that as a base paint for all the weapons and the armor. Now, these guys have a lot of armor. Now, you could technically probably let's say prime the whole thing in like a metal color instead, and then use contrast paints on the armor if you want to do like different colored armor, or just Nuln Oil or some cryptic armor shade gloss or something like that. And then actually don't use contrast on the skin and hair and stuff like that, so that you don't get that silver shine through again. You could just paint up some actual orc skin with some acrylic paints. Like, do whatever saves you more time. A lot of people say contrast paint saves you time, but as you can see, I still gotta do all the armor. That's very long in these points. So I mean, yeah, try what you do best. I mean, you can use all sorts of things. I could have done 4 orcs in acrylic paints and 4 orcs with contrast and show you guys that, but well, it's too late now. I already recorded videos. Alright, we're going to move on to our next color. This is Zenithal Blue. It's actually not a contrast because I'm doing the eyes. Just dotting those little eyes with this really nice, bright blue. I wanted these orcs to really pop with their eyes. Like, and it's just... And with the dark recesses there, it was working perfectly. So here we're using the Ayenden Yellow, which I was originally using the Nazdrag Yellow. So this gives the weapons a almost golden look to them, but not almost like a sort of rusted look too a bit. But the Nazdrag Yellow would have been, you'll see in the picture comparisons later how it turns out a little bit better. Alright, now we're using some Nuln Oil on all of the armor. Now on the original ones, you're going to see I used some cryptic armor shade gloss, and I found it made it a little too dark, the armor, and it like blended in too much into the miniature. Big others, one of them you're seeing painted, so they're pretty much all painted. Now I'm going to show you a little bit what I did some of them. So on the left I used some Plaguebearer flesh and Nuln oil on this one, and the other one I used Plaguebearer flesh and Cryptic armor shade. You can see the Cryptic armor shade on her breastplate is much darker, and you can see that reverse color of the Undead Yellow and the Nazdrag. Here I used some Creed camo versus the Plaguebearer flesh. The Creed camo, it's nice, but it's a little too dark green. So I didn't like that one. Here I actually used Militarum green on both, but the Cryptic armor shade again versus the Nuln oil. You can see the difference like on his legs and his hands. You can do whichever one you like the most. And this is where I use the Orc flesh. Now that is bright green compared to Militarum green. That bright green is more cartoony. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you're enjoying these Heroquest videos. Drop a like, drop a comment down below what you think, and we'll catch you all in the next one.